So there we were, me and Kyle, crawling through the vents of Buckingham Palace like budget James Bonds who learned all our spy skills from TikTok fails. Kyle's whispering, "Stan, this is it. This is history." And I'm like, "Dude, the last time you said that, we ended up in a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit for 3 hours while you looked for evidence." We've got a $29 GoPro duct taped to my forehead, 3 bags of Cheez-Its for camouflage, and somehow Cartman's behind us in the vents. I didn't even invite him. He just heard there might be snacks. Then, boom! Harry's voice blasts through the palace speakers. "These idiots don't appreciate my trauma." Cartman freezes like he's seen a ghost, or Kale. The recorder slips from his sweaty little hand, clatters down the duct, and he screams, "Oh my God, it's worse than I thought." Instantly, the weirdest alarm goes off. Not a siren, not bells, just a deep, wet brrr sound, like a corgi letting out the Queen's last royal curse. Kyle panics. "That's the corgi fart alarm. Run!" Here's the thing. Tom Bower, who is basically a Bond villain if you swapped out all the weapons for dusty filing cabinets, endless grudges, and a suit that smells like old tea bags, goes on live TV and drops the royal tapes. Now everyone's acting like this is going to be history in the making. Like, they're expecting some kind of Shakespeare meets Game of Thrones moment. I'm talking epic speeches, dramatic pauses, maybe even background organ music, while Harry cries into a silk handkerchief. But nope. The second those tapes start playing, Harry doesn't sound regal or mysterious or even mildly composed. He sounds exactly like Cartman after losing Fortnite because his mom told him it's bedtime and she's hiding the Doritos. It's all high-pitched whining, weird pauses, and that "I'm important" tone that makes you want to mute the TV and go water a plant instead. And just like that, poof, his noble rebel brand, gone. Not just gone, disintegrated faster than Meghan trademarking Sussex Serenity organic bath bombs for $79.99 and forgetting they smell like lemon-scented dish soap. Now here's where it gets stupid. Of course my dad hears about this, and because he's Randy Marsh, he decides we can totally do this too. And in Randy logic, doing this too doesn't mean like journalism or research. Nope. It means we're instantly in the business of leaking celebrity dirt. No budget, no contacts, no plan. Just pure Marsh confidence and a microphone he stole from the community center karaoke night. The same mic that still smells faintly like Mrs. McCormick's whiskey breath from her Proud Mary performance. And he's pacing the living room, telling us, "This is our Watergate, boys. Except we're not breaking into an office, we're breaking into culture." Kyle's groaning in the corner. Cartman's already Googling, "How much is royal dirt worth on eBay?" And I'm just sitting there wondering how my life turned into TMZ, but with more potato skins. Dad launches Tape Talk, his brilliant invention. Basically TikTok, but for leaking embarrassing celebrity audio. And when I say brilliant, I mean it looks like it was programmed by a possum with caffeine withdrawal. Cartman's first upload? Pillow Talk Plot Room. It's him doing a terrible British accent, whispering, "Harry, sabotage William's scones, and also steal the corgi snacks." Butters hears this and thinks it's real. By the next day, he's handing out Justice for Scones flyers at school. The flyers have a cartoon scone crying with the words, "Never forget." One teacher actually signs it. Kyle's furious. "Guys, Tom Bower's in town filming the missing tapes heist for Netflix. If we're not careful, we're gonna end up in it as the bad guys." Cartman shrugs. "Cool. That's free promo, Kyle." And that's when Tom Bower himself DMs us on Tape Talk with one sentence. "Meet me at the studio. Wear something stupid." We show up to what we think is an interview. Turns out it's a game show. DNA or nah. Think Wheel of Fortune, except instead of guessing letters, you're matching royal kids with their alleged fathers. The host, the ghost of Queen Elizabeth. She's holding a gin and tonic, calling us peasants between spins and muttering stuff like, "I should have just run away with Mick Jagger." We're barely 2 questions in when Harry bursts in with a megaphone, yelling, "Copyright strike! That's my voice!" Then Meghan appears, except she's literally a giant snake now. Like full python tail, designer handbag slung over her scales, Valentino shades perched on her snake head. She hisses, "This is defamation and brand dilution." Cartman takes one look at the camera and shouts, "Smash that like button," before Kyle launches another boring protest live stream. Security storms in. Tom Bowers eating popcorn. Butters, completely oblivious, correctly guesses Archie's real dad and wins a lifetime supply of jam. He's sobbing into the jar like he's just won the Nobel Prize. Cutaway gag, Kenny trying to enter the contest but getting disqualified because his DNA test comes back as 90% Lunchables. When the chaos ends, Montecito is a war zone. Not literally, but socially. Harry's pacing around his $14 million living room, barking orders to act like it didn't happen, which pro tip is what everyone says right before it happens even more. Meanwhile, Meghan's sitting in a separate wing of the mansion, furiously Googling how to rebrand as Solo without sounding divorced. Can you trademark silence? Snake skincare line? Ethical sourcing? Kyle swears she's already filed the paperwork for silence trademark. Randy decides this is his big moment. He launches the Royal Apology podcast. Episode 1, 45 minutes of him eating potato skins into a microphone while muttering due process every 10 seconds. Cartman's outside selling Royal Jam subscription boxes for $19.99 a month. He claims each jar is spiritually blessed by Butters. Butters is just autographing jars and crying. Kenny is still eating jam with his bare hands. The headlines blow up. Hashtag Tapegate, Harry calls staff ungrateful peasants. Snake Meghan spotted slithering away from Montecito. Tom Bauer brewing kombucha of truth peers. Morgan hosts a live debate against a cardboard cutout of Harry and still wins. Cartman starts selling shirts that say, "I heard the tapes and all I got was this lousy lawsuit." They sell out in 2 hours. Kyle tries to explain on national TV that the tapes were real, but the conspiracy crowd? They've decided Harry was deep-faked by a lizard robot from space. And somehow, that's the theory people believe. So what's the takeaway? Turns out the longest-running royal tradition isn't tea or tiaras or awkward balcony waves. It's pretending the truth doesn't exist until the next Netflix deal gets signed. Meghan's silence trademark gets approved. Harry announces a new docu-series, The Real Me, edited version, and just when I think it's over, a massive kombucha bottle labeled Tom Bauer Special Brew comes flying across the screen and smacks Harry right in the forehead. He stumbles. Meghan hisses, and Cartman yells, "Like and subscribe before Meghan trademarks this meltdown."